just what happened to the INXS singer Michael Hutchence's reputed millions, and whether his daughter, Tiger Lily, stands to inherit his supposed fortune, has been one of the enduring mysteries of the rock world. Now, with the release of the Paradise Papers, documents have emerged shedding fresh light on who owns the rights to Hutchence's body of work, which includes several unpublished songs. They show that Hutchence's business manager, Colin Diamond, lawfully sought to set up a company called Helipad Plane in 2015 in the tax haven of Mauritius to further exploit sound recordings, images, films, and related material embodying the performance of Michael Hutchence for the 20th anniversary of the singer's death this month. The documents make no mention of Heavenly Hierarchy Tiger Lily, Hutchence's daughter from his relationship with the TV presenter Paula Yates. Instead, in one email exchange with the law firm Appleby, Diamond's lawyer says Diamond is the beneficial owner of Hutchence's material and entitled to deal with it. The litigation that has surrounded Hutchence's estate, including 2 cases in Australia, caused Appleby to rate their new client as high risk. Risk profile of high is being attributed to the company, an Appleby staff member wrote in the file in 2015. Reason being that although rationale has been received behind Colin Diamond being the beneficial owner of Michael Hutchence's estate, there is still risk about the properties being misused given previous court cases involving Chardonnay, Diamond's company. When Hutchence was found dead in a Sydney hotel room in apparent suicide in 1997, it sparked a bitter war over his estate. His mother, Patricia Glassip, father Kel, and sister Tina battled for 8 years through the Australian courts with Diamond over what they believed was an estate worth between $10 million and $20 million. In the end, they were told by the executor the singer had died owning virtually nothing. As the 2005 court case revealed, Hutchence's assets were held in a labyrinth of offshore trusts set up in tax havens by Diamond and other advisors. Hutchence was not a beneficiary, and deliberately so, according to the advisors. They claimed Hutchence had not wanted his relatives and girlfriends to get their hands on his fortune. This was at odds with the wishes the rock star expressed in his will, which left half of his estate to Tiger Lily, with the rest split equally between Yates, his mother, father, brother and sister. There were also 2 bequests of $250,000 to Amnesty International and Greenpeace. These were never received. Yates died 4 years after Hutchence of an accidental heroin overdose. Tiger Lily, then 4, was adopted by Bob Geldof, Yates's former partner. Michael Hutchence performing in 1993. Photograph Franz Skelly Red Ferns in a second court case. In 2010, Chardonnay Investments sued the 5 remaining members of INXS, laying claim to a 1/6 share of the airplay rights and revenues from the exploitation of Hutchence's image. Diamond claimed Hutchence had transferred all rights to Chardonnay, a company controlled by him, 4 years before his death. A spokesman for Petrol, INXS's management company, confirmed that there had been a settlement with Diamond. Rights to the INXS recordings are held by Atlantic Records and Universal Records. Hutchence's songwriting publishing rights for the INXS songs are owned in perpetuity by Warner Chappell Music after a buyout deal with Diamond. But Chardonnay still lays claim to some song rights and other material, as the Paradise Papers appear to show. In the settlement with the estate of Michael Hutchence, it was agreed that all intellectual property rights belong to Chardonnay Investments Limited, which is controlled by Colin Diamond, and by virtue of him being the ultimate beneficial owner, he controls the assets of Chardonnay. Diamond's lawyer, Michael Lim, wrote in one email to Appleby. He went on to explain that this arrangement had been put in place because Hutchence had various family issues and had left Diamond to deal with Chardonnay's assets. There was no mention of Tiger Lily or any trust. When Tiger Lily turned 21 in July this year, the Sun newspaper reported she would inherit millions from the royalties from Hutchence's music. Michael Hutchence and Paula Yates in London in 1996. Photograph Day Bennett Getty Images. The Paradise Papers have cast doubt on this. There have been reports over the years that Geldof reached a settlement with Diamond over Tiger Lily's share of the estate, but no confirmation. Geldof was not available for comment. Appleby was also nervous about some of the indirect investors in Helipad Plane, because their shares were held in nominee companies in various tax havens. They used a global business intelligence database to run a check on Diamond and his business partner, Ron Creevy, an Australian tech entrepreneur who is being sued for alleged securities fraud in the US, as well as the investors who were backing Creevy's company, Moment Media. Creevy told Fairfax Media that the allegations were fake news, a smear campaign and defamatory. One of the investors funding the venture was the Sydney nightclub king John Ibrahim. Other investors include some of the City of London's banking blue bloods Peregrine Crosthwaite, the former head of investment banking at Investec's London office, the Hereford cherry farmer and philanthropist Clive Richards, David McAlpine, a director at the engineering firm Sir Robert McAlpine Limited, and the Conservative Party supporter Sir David Ord, the managing director of the Bristol Port Company. The Australian businessman Bob Mansfield was a former shareholder. Colin Diamond provided his interview and access to the unique archive in his possession for no money. Mark Llewellyn, 7 networks and material held by Chardonnay Investments saw the light of day in a 12-part documentary, Michael Hutchence, The Last Rock Star, which aired last month on the 7 network. It featured a rare interview with Diamond. But the remaining members of INXS and their manager, Chris Murphy, were highly critical of the program, labeling it unauthorized. The band was not approached to take part and instead old interviews were spliced into the documentary. Its executive producer, Mark Llewellyn of 7, said he had dealt with Diamond and that Creevy had provided introductions. Colin Diamond, who was the co-executor of Michael's estate and a close friend of Michael's, provided his interview and access to the unique archive in his possession for no money, Llewellyn said. No fee was paid to either man, he added. The payoff for Diamond will perhaps come when the 15 previously unreleased songs see the light of day. Creevy has said he and Moment Media are no longer involved in the helipad plane venture. He was unavailable for comment. Diamond was also unavailable. The material in the Paradise Papers comes from 2 offshore service providers and the company registries of 19 tax havens, and was obtained by the German newspaper Süddeutsche Zeitung and shared by the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists with partners including The Guardian.